Welcome back to my channel. I'm WolfPhoto. I'm your cat's favorite yarn ball, guitar playing, apple eating photographer. So if you didn't know that, go ahead and hit the subscribe button. Thank you so much for clicking on another WolfPhoto video. I appreciate it so much. Thank you to every single person that's in here and watching. You guys mean the world to me, and I'm glad to have you back for another video. So I've been doing Covedits on my Instagram, which is an editing challenge, and you guys are really loving it, and I'm having a lot of fun with it too. But what I want to do is do that again for you guys, but do it differently. Since we're all in quarantine and we're all stuck at our homes, why not make this interesting? So I have another challenge for you. With that challenge comes a tutorial on how I made this photo. We're going to learn how to take this photo, and I'm going to show you step by step how I took this photo, exactly how I created it, because I think you kind of know how I did it, but you don't really. So we're going to go step by step, and I'm going to teach you exactly how I did it. While we're doing this video, think about something creative that you can shoot in your house, and how can you make it extremely creative. What I did is I shot my camera. Don't shoot your camera. Find something else. Do something else. Don't copy what I did. It could be a camera lens. Shoot that interestingly. It could be literally anything. A banana, a cell phone. Literally, dude, you can shoot anything in your house. Fucking, you could shoot a clothes hanger, a screwdriver. Whatever it is, just make it interesting. I want you to be super fucking creative with this. So think about that. I'll propose the rules and like how we're gonna go about this contest after this tutorial. Without further ado, we're gonna hop into my shot and I will show you exactly how I did that. Alrighty, camera angles changed because we're gonna be showing you how to do this, how I took every single step to make this photo. My plan was to film on this beloved G9 VI, but for some reason it's not filming longer than 30 seconds. And I think that's because of the SD card I have in it, but you know, whatever. For the video purposes, and this is why I took the shot before I filmed the video, I'm going to be using this camera, my old film camera, Nikon N2020. I'll be using this camera for demonstration purposes. I'm going to tell you everything that I did to take the shot with my Sony A7. So what you're going to need for taking this photo, you're going to need a camera. Use the camera that you have. Use the camera that you own. Like I said when doing this challenge that I'm challenging you for, don't do exactly what I did. I don't want to see you do exactly what I did. I want you to see you be creative in your own sense. How I created this photo, I used my camera. Okay, so for demonstration purposes, we're going to use this camera. You will also need scissors. And Matthew, yes, you guessed it, I used fishing line. So you're going to need fishing line. But what you didn't guess, and what you don't know, is that I used a mirror. So we're going to be using a mirror for this one. It's kind of interesting how I set it up. Now I think just the way I got the shot is really cool. Let's jump into the first step. First, what I did is I put this bolt in my ceiling, and I can tie things around it and hang them from the ceiling. So first things first, we need to get some fishing line up there. So I'm gonna pull my chair over here. Okay. I'm standing on a rolling chair, guys. So this is quite dangerous. I recommend you do it safer than me. Now, what I'm gonna do is I'm not going to cut a whole thing off. I'm gonna string this through and I'm gonna tie it up here 3 times. 1, 2, 3. Now I have this still connected and I'm going to fix the length to where I want it. Now that we have the fishing line, I'm gonna pull it down to like lower than I think I want the camera hanging. So I'm gonna cut it there. So now I have this here and I need to attach the camera, but first we have to get something else set up. Okay, so we need to get this mirror set up. So I used my chair and I put the mirror just in the chair like put the mirror in the chair, motherfucker. And now the mirror is in the chair and it's nice and sturdy in there. So we need to get the camera set up to exactly where we want it and guide it to exactly where I want it to hang, and right there is good enough. Fishing line can hold very big fish, so it definitely can hold your camera that is not even over 8 pounds. So you'll be solid if you use fishing line for something like this. Don't worry about it dropping your camera. unless you don't know how to tie a knot or bolt something into the ceiling. Other than that, you'll be solid. You want to trim as much excess stuff off as you can. So I'm going to cut it here, and this will just make it easier in post-production. Something that's very important product photography wise is making sure that your lighting is good. Making sure that you have perfect lighting. Lighting is extremely important when shooting products because you want to make sure it's lit properly, and you want to be able to use a low ISO so that you don't create a bunch of grain in your photos. So one thing that I did that I'm not going to do for here because I'm lighting for video purposes now, but I took one of my lights and put it right here and shined it directly onto this camera. What that does is that makes it easier for me to create a higher shutter speed so I can capture the movement of the camera. Alright, so now let's talk about exactly how I did this shot. So now we have the camera hanging in front of the mirror. So what the point of the mirror was is so that I can shoot it with the camera, and it will reflect the camera, and then it will have this stuff in the background. On my Sony, I turned on manual focus, and I focused it so that it was focused on the Sony up here, so that I could get the camera in focus and not as much the lens, so that it went through the lens, focused, and then it had a blurred out background. So what I did is I got down here, I set the timer on my camera for 2 seconds. And what I did is I held the camera sturdy to where it would lay, and I pressed the button, held it 1, 2, and then went like this. It took the picture, and all I had to do was do it multiple times, move this around, and make sure that I got the right spot. Now I do have a video of me taking that shot and me letting go of the camera so you can see what it looks like on the camera. This is what I did. I went 1, 2, and then the camera comes back and the shot is done. So my first initial thing was to just have the camera floating, but what I did instead is I added in my hand at the bottom. So I took the shot, 1, 2, went like that, and you can see the turnout. It makes it look like I'm throwing the camera up or I'm trying to catch the camera. One of the most important things when doing this is making sure that you set your timer and you set your focus manually. If you don't set your focus manually, the camera can adjust itself and it's not going to focus exactly how you want it to. Now that we're done with the shooting part and setting it up and getting it ready, we're going to jump into post, and I'm going to show you exactly how I edited this shot. So what we're going to do is we're going to open up our photo in Affinity Photo or in Photoshop. Now, I already processed this photo through Lightroom. I don't really see a need to show that because all I did was make some basic color corrections and get the photo exactly how I want it to look. This is what the exact photo looks like from when I shot it first time that I did the shoot. So first thing you want to do is make sure that the photo is straightened. Now this is going to be hard because straightened would mean like this, but I'm going to straighten it to the camera line. So I'm going to go here, straighten, and just drag this down, and we'll straighten it out a little bit. And now we're going to crop it. I'm going to do a custom ratio, and I'm going to do an 8x10 because an 8x10 will fit on Instagram perfectly, and that is exactly where this photo is going to go. So I'm going to crop it up a little bit, get those white sidebars out, and now I'm just going to fit this photo to exactly where I think it should be and get it lined up perfectly to where the camera is centered and it is all in frame. And that looks perfect to me. So the next step, and really the only step that you need to make sure you do properly, is we got to remove this little bit of string right here. So this is the fishing line that we have to remove, and to do that I'm going to use the in-painting brush tool. I'm not 100% sure what it's called on Photoshop, but it is the same concept. So I'm going to make this as close to the line as possible, and I'm going to drag it down here to remove this. You can see it looks very, very good. You can't really tell. So then now we're going to go and do this part. Alright, now here's where it gets kind of tricky because you don't want to mess up this camera strap holder. So I'm going to use the clone stamp tool, and I'm going to clone it and just draw around this, make it look the best that I can. And we have a little bit on the inside that we need to get rid of. So the trick with this is just getting as close as you can and making as many little tiny adjustments that you can, because the little tiny ones are the ones that are going to get you places. Don't try to do this whole thing in one stroke because that will set you back and it just won't look the way you want it to look. So another thing is this fishing line is going to reflect some light, so it's going to have like a glow off of it. So you need to make sure that you remove the light and the glow coming off of the string. So I'm going to do a couple more lines down this side to blur everything in, to blend it all in. And now we are here, and it looks like the camera is floating. And that is the final shot. That is how you make a camera float in post-production. It looks like I'm throwing the camera up or I'm catching the camera. And I like that shot a lot. That is how you make a camera look like it's floating. Now, like I said, this was an extremely complicated shot. It took me a couple days to get because I wanted to get it exactly perfect, and that's exactly what I envisioned when I was thinking of this shot. No need to get that complicated, but here's my proposal for you. I want to do a quarantine photo challenge. So what I want you to do is find a product in your house. Find anything in your house. It could be literally anything in your house, but I want you to get creative and I want you to shoot that product. However you shoot it, I want you to take a behind the scenes video of it so that you can post the picture and post the behind the scenes. I want you to take a video of the behind the scenes because I think that adds to this whole challenge, because it's more than just taking a photo. It's how did you set it up. Really use your creativity as you're stuck in the house and you don't have anything to do. So this is like a cool little challenge for you guys to start shooting inside your house and get those creative wheels turning and be the best photographer that you can. The plan is, after you guys send in your photos, I'm going to make another bracket and we can compare the photos and we will eventually determine a winner of the best photo for this challenge. I think the brackets are really cool because it gets everyone involved and it even gets people who aren't taking photos. They can vote and they can be a part of the whole thing. How does this all work? This video will be coming out on Tuesday the 31st. Since it is quarantine and I know you guys have literally nothing to do, the deadline to submit your photo is Friday. So Friday I want you guys to all have your photos posted. And how are you going to have your photos posted? What I want you guys to do is post your photo and then post a video of behind the scenes and how you did it. So I need you to tag me in it. That way I can find your photos, I can save them, and we can start another fun bracket. The deadline to submit your photos, I'll accept them all the way until Friday at 12. At Friday at 12 at night, I'll be done accepting photos so I can start posting the bracket on Saturday. So I want you guys to get super creative and do something that you normally wouldn't do. This is something different. This is not something that I normally shoot, but I love doing stuff like this because it is another amazing aspect of photography. Grab your camera, get creative, grab a random product, grab a random object, and create a beautiful photo with it the best way you can. Take your photos, tag me in them. I hope you guys have a great day. Keep shooting, get some amazing shots, and I'll see you next video.